Hello and welcome to Follow the Money. I'm Raine Musñgi. Join us as we explore the tools and insights you need to jumpstart your financial journey. In recent developments, the Manila Electric Company, or Meralco, has been at the forefront of significant industry movements, including a substantial refund initiative, a major LNG partnership, and discussions surrounding its franchise extension. Today, we're joined by Mr. Joe Zaldarriaga, Meralco's Vice President and Head of Corporate Communications, to delve deeper into these pressing issues. Joe, good to see you and welcome to Follow the Money.
It's great to see you again, Raine, and to all the viewers who Follow the Money, a good day to all of you.
I think we'll start with the question that hits the consumer's belly, the refund concerns. An ex-ERC official has labeled Meralco's 19 billion peso refund as inadequate. How does Meralco respond to these criticisms, and what measures are being taken to ensure that consumers receive fair compensation?
Well, let me put things in perspective, Raine. We submitted an application to the Energy Regulatory Commission, or the ERC, to refund the total amount of 19 billion pesos over a period of 36 months or 3 years. So in our proposal, that's equivalent to around 19 centavos per kilowatt hour for residential customers. The call for 100 billion has absolutely no basis as far as we are concerned, because the order that emanates from the ERC simply stated what will be the actual rates that we have to plow back given the rate recess process that did not happen. So prior to this 19 billion, we actually already refunded close to 50 billion pesos. So if you will add both, if there will be an order again for this 19 billion, that will total already almost 70 billion. But the 100 billion, absolutely, for the record, has no basis because there is no such order. And once we have this decision, we will immediately announce on how we intend to implement this.
All right, when are you expecting the decision?
Well, we leave that up to the wisdom of the regulator, but we are ready and we are primed to implement the order once we receive it, because somehow, hopefully, this will be welcome news to consumers, as this will be a reduction in their electricity bills.
Certainly. And on the corporate front, now, while planning a significant refund, Meralco has reportedly surpassed its 2024 energy sales volume target. How does the company balance profitability with its responsibility to provide affordable electricity to consumers?
You know, Raine, the growth in our sales volumes is a result of the continuous growing demand for power as we see it. And Meralco, as a distribution utility, should be able to support the growth of the customers we serve, whether it's commercial, industrial, and even residential. That is why we continuously work in ensuring that we deliver reliable and stable power at all times, 24/7. And when it comes to the rate that we are allowed to recover and charge to our customers, this literally undergoes a very strict review process that includes public hearings. We cannot implement any charges that are not approved by the ERC in our electricity bill, because as a highly regulated entity, I can assure you that we strictly operate within the parameters of our franchise, and the critical part of our mandate is to be able to provide the least cost to our customers by ensuring that aside from delivering least cost, we are able to sufficiently, reliably, and deliver stable electricity supply. We have been proactively implementing sourcing strategies to secure sufficient power supply at the least cost, because as I mentioned, that is part of our mandate. And we are able to actually achieve that through what we call a competitive selection process, or to laymanize it, biddings, to secure the least cost supply that we can obtain from the bidders. And historically, this has really yielded savings for our customers, and moreover helps minimize the exposure of our customers to the wholesale electricity spot market, or WESM, where we know, especially during the summer months, that prices become very volatile. And aside from ensuring that we have adequate, reliable, and sufficient energy through a very competitive selection process, on the distribution side, we have to be able to invest heavily on our distribution backbone, and this includes upgrading of our facilities for storm hardening, meeting the demand of the summer months, and as you know, you have two seasons every year. In the rainy season, this is where most of the trippings also occur. So we have to strengthen our facilities. And as you see on screen, this really is also part of what we have been doing. We enhance energy efficiency, we maximize our existing infrastructure, and we have a diversified mix of energy supply. Rest assured that we remain committed in working with government, in working with all our stakeholders and all the industry players to promote consumer welfare while ensuring the delivery of stable and reliable electricity.
Joe, on the side, since you talked about bidding and supply for, especially for the dry season, we hear from the NGCP that market forces and unexpected power generators shutdowns are driving power rates higher. The ERC said just this week, if we want lower power rates, then we should shift to renewable energy. But still, foreign investors have to be wooed with locator packages that include discounts on power costs. Now, for power distributors like Meralco, how do we bring down the cost of power in the Philippines? Short term, long term, have we explored all the alternatives? And is it safe enough now to consider nuclear energy?
Well, that's a very good question, Raine. Actually, as we speak, and as I mentioned a while back, we have a diversified portfolio of supply emanating from our various suppliers. And we obtain energy from natural gas, coal, and renewable energy. So it's a matter of trying to get this most superior sourcing strategy. We are mindful of that. That's why the competitive selection came into play as a prerequisite to obtaining the least cost that you can possibly get through a strict bidding process. Now, as far as the generation side is concerned, as you know, we've entered the generation space specifically to be part of the solution in ensuring that we have adequate supply in the coming years. The future of the Philippines looks very bright. We see the growth path of where we are headed, and you can only ensure that the growth path will be ably supported by ensuring you have enough energy to supply the growing demands of customers, especially of businesses and commercial establishments and industrial customers. And we know our responsibility. We'd like to be part of the solution by entering the generation space and by obtaining the least cost through our various suppliers for the distribution utility.
Right. But quickly, before we go into the LNG partnership, nuclear, is that something that's being explored already?
Yes, as has been reported in media, we are seriously looking into nuclear as a source as well. We know that nuclear is a reliable and cheap source of energy. And in fact, we have been sending scholars abroad, Meralco employees, to study the technology. We are looking at both baseload capacity and SMRs, or small modular reactors. And this really is part of our overall campaign and our overall plan and program to provide energy security to all, not only to our customers, but to the country in general.
Now, of course, that means that exploring it means that, there's been a lot of changes in the past 30 years since we last explored nuclear here in the Philippines. Does that offhand, does it look like nuclear is safe?
Well, we've seen the technology being utilized even in very progressive and developed countries. So I don't see the reason why our own country should not look into it. And I think, as I mentioned, even government through the Department of Energy has already given the green light for the players in the energy industry to look into this technology. That's why we, as part of the bigger energy family, are seriously reconsidering this option of nuclear energy to support our energy security moving forward.
All right. Shifting gears, your LNG partnership, Meralco, in collaboration with Aboitiz and San Miguel Corporation, did close on a $3.3 billion LNG deal. How will this partnership impact the energy landscape in the Philippines? What benefits can consumers expect? And do you see any potential threat or risk of the prices also getting affected because this is a dollar-denominated deal?
Well, let me first state for the record that this collaboration is through our power generation arm, the Meralco Power Gen Corporation, or MGen. So this milestone really zeroes in towards our country's goal of energy security, since this venture paves the way for the launch of what we can really see and call as the first and largest integrated LNG terminal. While we recognize that this is highly critical in ensuring energy security, we are not really privy to the details of the partnership, as this is handled by a separate entity, which is MGen. But let me say for a fact that we know that this will help augment supply moving forward, and that we look forward to being able to be part of the solution. As the spokesman of the distribution utility, I have been always saying that as far as the DU is concerned, our primordial consideration is to be able to obtain energy at the least cost possible. And how can you do this? Through through various suppliers that will be able to compete in terms of pricing and ensure stability, reliability of energy, and at the same time obtain the least cost. So that really is a mandate that we have vowed to continue doing, and we hope to do so in the coming years.
Understood. Now, your franchise extension, the Senate has approved on second reading that bill extending your franchise for another 25 years. What commitments has Meralco agreed to make to ensure improved services and lower rates during this extended period?
Well, we'd like to thank as well the Senate for considering our franchise extension, and prior to this, it has been approved by the House of Representatives. And with that, we have stated this for the record, that our commitment is to continuously deliver reliable supply and stable electricity that will continue to serve our growing needs. And as we speak, Raine, we have around 8 million customers now being served in the Meralco franchise area. Of course, part of that responsibility is to invest heavily on our distribution network. And this is beyond just upgrading and improving and building our distribution facilities. We need to work on making them more robust, resilient, and intelligent through an advanced metering infrastructure in the future. We need to have storm hardening initiative and grid modernization projects that is already what I can call as future-proofing the distribution industry. We also need to empower our customers to various customer choice programs, because at the end of the day, customers need to have their own choice on how they will be served. And as I mentioned, we have to continue proactively ensuring sufficient supply is available through bidding and a competitive selection process. So all this we do to ensure that we meet the needs of our customers, not only now, but in the future and beyond many years ahead.
All right. Well, we need to pick up on those some of those ideas, but first, a quick break for some reminders. We'll be back with Meralco's Joe Zaldarriaga on the future of power in the Philippines. Stay on BNC and follow the money.
Nagbabalik ang Usapang Bilyonaryo. We kick off Season 3 with an exclusive.
This is your first on-cam interview?
It is. I've been in Aboitiz Power for 15 years now. I rose through the ranks.
Danel Aboitiz, President and CEO of Aboitiz Power, is now at the helm, steering the company's growth and shaping the future of energy in the Philippines.
When did it start to turn a profit? I mean, of course, in the beginning.
Immediately, actually.
Oh, really?
I must say. It was a profitable business with an inherently low operating cost.
Get a rare inside look at the mind of a true billionaire. The vision, the passion, the drive. Usapang Bilyonaryo, where ambition and success meet. Don't miss the pilot episode, Mondays, 8:30 p.m., only on the Bilyonaryo News Channel.
Welcome back to Follow the Money. We're still with Meralco VP for Corcom and spokesperson Joe Zaldarriaga. Joe, you mentioned earlier the residential and commercial rates of power. Reports indicate that residential consumers are charged higher rates than commercial clients. Is that correct? And what justifies this pricing structure? Are there plans to make electricity more affordable for households?
Well, thank you for that question, and allow me to air more information on this. There have been a lot of misleading reports on this, Raine, and first and foremost, let me clarify this. Our rates are structured in a way that distribution rates are charged to customer classes, namely residential, commercial, and industrial, based on the cost to serve. So why is it such? It's because the cost to serve residential customers is more expensive because of more facilities needed to serve them. And there are more operating expenses or OPEX, such as manpower, compared with commercial customers, for example, which has a higher load and are usually concentrated in one area. This system avoids what we call interclass subsidy, or having our commercial customers shoulder distribution costs of residential customers, which is actually mandated and is prohibited by law under Section 36 of the Electric Power Industry Reform Act, or EPIRA. Now, if we increase the distribution rates or charges of commercial and industrial customers and lower residential customers, the big load customers of Meralco will be subsidizing residential customers, which I said is not allowed under current laws, and would also discourage businesses from investing and operating. So when that happens, this could lead to less jobs and, of course, impact on economic growth. I would like to assure everyone that the rates implemented by Meralco undergo a stringent review and approval process to ensure that they are fair and reasonable. Also, our distribution rate allocation conforms with existing rules, and it is the regulator or the ERC that determines and approves the cost allocation per customer class. As I've mentioned, there is no rate that is contained in the electricity bill that is not approved and has undergone approval from the ERC.
Understood. You mentioned that the demand in power. How is power supply shaping up for the dry season? Would you be able to share with us?
Well, demand usually spikes, if I'm not mistaken, by roughly 20% on the average every time the summer month hits. So you have, as a distribution utility, you have to be ready for that.
Right. Are we ready?
Because, yes, we are so far. we're hoping for the best, but if there will be instances of red or yellow alerts, even on the demand side management portion, we are ready through our interruptible load program, wherein our big ticket customers don't tap from the Meralco system and instead will use their own source of electricity, which is, of course, the generator sets. So that free ups the load from the system, and residential customers who normally don't have their own source will be able to tap from the Meralco grid while the big ticket customers use their own. But we do not want that to happen, Rain. What we really desire and what really is important to us in Meralco is to be able to provide 24/7 electric service without going through the interruptible load process program. And part of also of the initiative on demand side management, which will benefit both the customers and the utility, is a very heavy energy efficiency campaign. That we have been doing since Meralco has been in operation. We continue to advocate that, and I, on a personal level, have always stated, let's make energy efficiency our way of life. That is the only way to go in terms of making sure that we are able to benefit from electricity usage without hurting our pockets.
Considering that challenge between supply and demand, what would you recommend to MSMEs that they undertake so that it doesn't matter whether they're in a blackout area, that they will be prepared, especially for the dry season, especially if they're normally getting blackouts during the dry season?
That is the purpose of the interruptible load program, so that MSMEs won't be hurt so much should there be rotating interruptions. But I'm happy to report that that situation hasn't really transpired in the past years. There were instances, but it wasn't that long, Rain, and we've managed to somehow cope given the high demand and the volatility of supply at that time. But I am of the impression, and the information that we have is that we have adequate supply in the coming summer months, and I am confident, and I hope that our customers will also continue to exercise energy efficiency, despite the fact that there was already a pronouncement from government that we will have adequate supply. As far as Meralco is concerned, we have our capacity needs covered. We will ensure that we will be able to deliver 24/7, barring any problem in terms of the overall supply. And we're looking at a good summer. With all the preparations in place, I think we can pull through.
Your future energy initiatives with the recent LNG deal, other projects in the pipeline, how is Meralco positioning itself to meet the Philippines' growing energy demands while ensuring sustainability and affordability? Perhaps on the side, how has take-up been for net metering and solar powering the homes and businesses?
Well, as you know, Rain, Meralco has and will always be a major enabler of economic growth. That is why our strategy is aligned with the country's economic trajectory programs. Again, we are aggressively working towards making our distribution network more robust, more resilient, much smarter, through grid modernization projects, storm hardening programs, and continued investments in innovation and technologies such as the advanced metering infrastructure, AMI.
Can you share with us some data on that? Like how much the take-up has been?
Well, right now we have been actively pursuing it. We will announce in due time what these programs are. And to add to that, Reina, this also includes investing in capital incentive projects such as smart substations and a massive rollout of smart meters where there will be already limited manual interaction that will cater efficiently to the growing demands and requirements of our customers. Now, in terms of supply, I think that's been much of what has been asked from us. We committed to source 1,500 megawatts from renewable energy projects. We continue to support that. And at the same time, through our subsidiary, develop another 1,500 megawatts. Right now, our generation portfolio, although I am a spokesman for the distribution utility, but let me just share the knowledge I know. The power generation arm of Meralco is developing what will be the world's largest solar plant with battery energy in Nueva Ecija called Terra Solar. So that is actually been reported in media. And as I mentioned, our various supply portfolio, the mix of energy that we obtain from the generating entities is very diversified in order to obtain what I would really term as the most reasonable and least cost we can get.
And Joe, I know that across Asia, investors are really, that news of the Terra Solar really made waves around the investors. They're really looking forward to making power cheaper here in the Philippines. Now we've come to the part of the show that we have a special segment, and we ask our guests a personal, off-the-cuff and real-life follow-the-money question. All right, Joe, it's time to be a little vulnerable. We're all friends here, right? And let's talk about perhaps your most surprising money moments. Our question for you is, what's the weirdest or most unexpected way you've earned money?
Well, Ray, this is going to be a personal confession. When I was much younger, when there were no cell phones, one of my side gigs was being a commercial model, and I obtained money by appearing on print ads and television commercials. I was studying then in university in Manila and De La Salle, and that was part of my side gig to generate money for myself while I was undergoing what was then termed as limited allowance from my parents. So, so that's one side of me that probably your viewers did not know.
And it actually paid off completely, because who knew that you would always be in the spotlight, in the public eye, and you've used it throughout your whole career, decades and decades of it. Thank you so much, Mr. Joe Zaldarriaga, Vice President and Head of Corporate Communications at Meralco, for providing valuable perspectives into the pressing issues. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Raine.
And as highlighted, Meralco is actively pursuing initiatives to enhance service delivery and address consumer concerns, aiming for a more sustainable and affordable energy future. And that is it for today's edition of Follow the Money. I'm Raine Musñgi. Thank you so much for watching. Keep it here on BNC, the Bilyonaryo News Channel, always on top.